In a world oversaturated with other people's opinions, what is needed now is more opinions! Alex and the Garbage Man! Here we are again.
Yes, we are here.
It is non-coffee time with Alex and Nick.
Man, fuck Shaw Internet.
Okay, if you want to open it with that, sure.
God damn, man. Like, what a clusterfuck before we even got on the air.
Yeah.
It just, this wasn't supposed to be my story, but we went through a whole thing with TELUS. We jumped over to Shaw, and I upgraded to a gig internet. So I thought, yeah, I want a gig internet. And as soon as I turn my internet on, if I do a speed test, it's got like 900 download. The minute I turn one video off, it cuts in half. It's just like, ow. Ow.
Now, you know, there are different words that they use. Gigabit versus gigabyte and megabit versus megabyte. They're not the same thing. So which one did you get? 1 gigabit or 1 gigabyte?
Must be gigabit. Must be gig of the shits, apparently.
Yeah.
Gig of shits.
Does the redneck have an opinion on this, I wonder?
Yeah. Sell me your wares, sir. So, I don't know. It still works pretty good, but it's just like if I'm paying that much money, I want to be getting, the full,
the whole shebang.
Yeah.
The whole shebang.
I shouldn't be looking at that right now. Yeah, so what a world, what a world. Yeah. What a world. Anyways, first world problems, definitely, right?
Yeah, that's where the privilege comes in, and then people jump all over us for that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That thing.
The P word.
The P word. So, last week, I'm going to call him out because he called himself out, but now I'm going to call Alex out on it. So, last week, he said everybody has a problem when they, it's funny, like people will just read clips and they make an assumption on what actually, he's already laughing because he caught himself in it. People read clips and they need to read the whole article. So, before we get on the air, I had to close it. I don't have it right now, but the article, he says, well, I want to know if this is a win for the left, win for the right, or, is it a draw? And the title was young woman or young girl shoots is disarmed by teacher. Okay. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version. Yeah, so I start reading it. Okay. So as you're reading through it, so you guys don't have to read it, is this young girl shot 2 people and a custodian and a teacher wrestled her down, got and disarmed her. And I said to Alex, well, clearly it's a left win because now the gun people that are against guns are going to be like, oh my God, they had guns. And he's like, oh shit, I guess you're right. So yeah, she had guns, they disarmed her, and yeah, but this goes to what I've said before about not gun regulations, but more education. I don't know. And I get people, I could hear a certain voice in my head being like, well, he got all this. Hold on a second here. Just here. And I could see saying all this stuff and go, well, did you know that they have kindergarten classes where they learn about these guns and you don't even know? And if you did some work, yeah, but no, because you're some dumb Canadian. If you knew anything, you'd know better. Ha ha.
Wrong.
So, yeah, right. But I've always said it's more of an education than it is to take away guns. That's where I've always stood on that.
Yeah. And the Martin superintendent, Jefferson School District Superintendent Chad Martin said, "This is the worst nightmare a school district could ever face. We prepare for it, but you're never truly prepared." That, to a degree, is true unless you do live drills, and I'm pretty sure not live drills to the effect of people running throughout the school with fake guns, but at least drills of there's a shooter in the building, everyone get down, get under your desks, wherever you're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is interesting. Class went into lockdown, of course. Lights and computers turned off. Students lined up against the wall. I'm not sure that that's such a good idea, because if the shooter manages to get in, they're right there against the wall, and it becomes Duck Hunt or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that they'd want, like, under your desks at least.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I can't see going against the wall being your best option.
Yeah. It's not a nuclear blast, so I think going under your desk. But then again, we're armchair critiquing this. Like, who are we? We didn't have to go through this in school.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, no doubt. We never had anything to deal with like this. So, yeah, I guess,
I like that name. Can we pimp his channel? He just started a channel.
Of course we can. I was planning on it, actually. I meant to write it down, but then I got ADD with my stupid internet. That's stupid. So go ahead, pimp his channel.
It's on YouTube. Oh, he does sports.
We like sports.
Yeah.
I recommend anyone go listen to that Lonely Island song. We like sports. I'm already laughing. The one line. Yeah, well, I gotta get the line. I can't even say it on here because if my mother came on here, she'd cut me.
Good evening, Trevor.
Hello, Trevor. Oh, I'm trying to find it, Brody. Oh, there it is. So it's gonna be Crunch Time Sports with our former host partner. It's gonna be what day? What day's your shit, Brody? Brody, what day's your shit? Brody! Anyways, Crunch Time Sports. I'm sure he'll not be biased at all towards the Toronto Maple Leafs or Dallas Cowboys or Nationals. So, I should have got you to watch a video now that I'm looking up Brody's Crunch Time Sports, because there was a hockey incident, but I don't think you watch enough hockey to.
No.
Well, maybe you could, but I don't know. But anyways, we'll not even talk about that. So, yeah, Crunch Time Sports. Look for it. Go hit that like button, and yeah, I'll give Brody lots of credit. He's a very, very 10 Eastern. Okay, so it'll be 10 Eastern, 8 Pacific on Wednesdays.
Hey, Chad.
Or that'd be not 7 Pacific Wednesdays, right? 7, 6.
Wednesdays at 10 Eastern, so that would be 7 your time, Mountain, I think. 3 hours?
Oh, my sperm pet's home. Ew.
Sperm pet. The name you parents come up with for your offspring.
I can't even take credit for that. That's Shauna Fox's. She said that one day on the show, and I'm like, I'm stealing that. That's my new thing, sperm pet.
7 Pacific. I look up Crunch Time Sports on YouTube, and I come up with 1, 2, 3, 4 Crunch Time podcast. So I have no idea which one it is. I'm sorry, Brody. I should have linked it earlier.
He's the one with the basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I will copy it. I will put it in the link.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. He's got 4 subscribers. That's pretty good. Oh, pardon me. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah,
that's one he should be at. That'll be Brody's channel. So check it out there, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I will say, so I was watching Frank from The Harsh Truth. Yep. I was watching his show before he came on. He was talking about my favorite movie. I just happened to stumble in there. They're talking about Jaws. And so he had a host, a guy on with him, and I had to message Brody, and I'm like, dude, I thought me and you said fuck a lot. That guy had us beat. Yeah, I was impressed with the amount of fucks that guy was laying down, man. Like, holy crap. That was impressive. So
Did he watch
bravo.
Menace to Society right before he went on, or what?
I don't know, man, but I thought we dropped a lot of F-bombs. Great googly moogly. So yeah. But so where are we going? What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? You name it. Is anyone okay? There's a certain thing we're not talking about today. Do not ask about it. But we'll just, even if it's in the chat, we just won't talk about it. So what do you want to talk about? What do you want to go first?
Let's do the old lyric thing.
All right. So go ahead.
So Nick shared a video on his timeline on Facebook. What was it, 3-4 days ago? No, maybe it was on Friday
yesterday.
after the show.
It was yesterday.
Maybe it was yesterday. Holy shit.
It was it was yesterday. Yeah.
Well, I lost for cursing because I just did. So that's 5 cents in the swear jar. In the digital swear jar, we'll put it towards Bitcoin. No, we're going to put it towards Cum Rocket.
Cum Rocket. That is amazing. Hey, you laugh. I have my guy. I messaged him and he's like, I'm looking into that. I'm like, you tell me when you find some shit and I will buy some Cum Rocket. All day. I will buy some Cum Rocket.
I say if you're going to get into a cryptocurrency, and this is stupid of me to say, but get into Dogecoin, because apparently when Elon Musk goes on Saturday Night Live, he's going to pimp Dogecoin. Now this is a rumor, and apparently it's going to skyrocket because of him saying it. So,
well, let's not see, and that's I don't want to. Hey, that Tom McDonald guy's Canadian too. Not to be a bubble burster, because I did ask like my guy who got me into crypto about that, and he said he doesn't see it, like he thinks it's just all hype.
Yeah,
he thinks that, and that's what it is. And it's like, just because Elon says it will spike, it'll spike and then come back down. He thinks so.
Yeah. So that's, we as regular people, we're starting to get a little bit of an insight as to what it's like to be on the stock trade floor of the Wall Street Exchange, because they have rumors all the time and prices go up and down based upon what people hear. Again, it's like being in Mackenzie. Mackenzie has become the internet.
Yes, I remember you'd always be like, oh, really? Everybody said that?
Everything. Everyone.
Like everybody. Like seriously, like a million times.
Like, oh my God.
Like,
oh my God.
Oh my God.
Like mad cash, yo.
Yo. I always say, like, I hear when I hear my kids say, I'm like, and me, I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not, but like you hear these young kids and they say, hey, my guy. And I always that's to me, I just hear an East Indian fellow saying my guy, right? Like my guy. And I don't know why the kids are suddenly saying my guy. I don't understand it. Hey, my guy. What the fuck is my guy?
My guy, my dude, my man, my homie.
Yeah, what happened is bruh.
Ugh, I hate
bruh.
that. I hate the bruh.
Bruh.
I think man is going to outlive it all, because man came by in the 60s when people were saying, hey, man, peace, man. And it's still around. But that's sexist. But unless man becomes the new gender neutral thing, you know, we're both men and women, and anyone of any identity can use man.
Yeah.
Why not? Yes.
Okay.
This is what happens when you're not fast enough on the keyboard, Brody, because I have no idea what you're referring to. And if you try now, we're going to move on without you.
Because nothing in the world can keep them away.
Who's them? And we're going to get into them and they, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I got you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing too, because like, I don't mean to, but I call like girls who are my friends, like Tiffany Gamble, I say, dude, like I call her dude.
Yeah.
So anyways, focus. So I've heard Tom McDonald stuff before. I think he had something about white privilege a few years ago. Like maybe not too, like last year before. And I thought, I was like, wow, like, you know, considering the climate at the time, it's amazing how much more it's even gone up now, right? Like just with, and he was saying this, but so I don't even know how I came across this song the other day, but I watched the video and the song, it's called Fake Woke by Tom McDonald, who's a Canadian, by the way, which is pretty cool.
Really?
So, yeah, he's Canadian. He's a Canadian rapper.
Nice.
So, I mean, we don't have a big following, guys, but go follow him. I mean, like, he's doing some cool stuff and he's got some great lyrics. And a lot of it seems to me like when he's talking, he's saying stuff a lot of us feel. I feel that he says a lot of stuff that we think. I guess that's what I'm trying, to say. So
I got the lyrics up.
Okay.
And unfortunately, my contention with this, a lot of this is just going to be, nitpicking. Because when you're writing song lyrics, you're not exactly thinking like the news. And I'm going to critique this as if it's the news. And I'm going to say, what are your sources? What do you mean by them and they? And why can't you be specific? So some of this, however, it seems to me is of the right. You know how the right will go on with, for example, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss was canceled. No, Dr. Seuss was not canceled. You're exaggerating what happened. And I think some of that exaggeration shows up here in Tom's lyrics. But we'll get to that. So we can start from the beginning. The song itself, it's pretty catchy, and he puts some decent energy into it. So from the start, I think it's crazy. I'm the one who they labeled as controversial. I don't know anything about him, so I don't know who labeled him as controversial and why he was labeled controversial. But then again, maybe that Privilege song that he put out a few years ago was the cause.
I believe that's what it was. Yep. I honestly believe that's what it was.
Okay. And Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. Again, I'm nitpicking. Who said she was a role model and specifically for 12-year-old girls? But I understand what he's saying with regards to he's the one labeled as controversial. Cardi B is the role model, considering the song that Cardi B put out recently of WAP.
And I think it also comes back to, again, what happened at the Grammys, right? Like, what that's, you go and just think about, go back to, and people still talk about it to this day, Nipplegate with Janet Jackson. And it's like, her nipple was covered, dude. Like, I mean, it was what was on her breast any different than what? And no, I'm not just saying Cardi B, but a lot of these girls wear on videos, like Nicki Minaj or any of them. Like, good Lord. So.
Yeah, I remember around that time, right after it had happened, the screenshot of it was going around and a close-up of it, and she had something on there. It was like a nipple clamp or something. I needed fat material, so no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, it was a nipple clamp, so it's not like the entire nipple was exposed.
No, not at all.
No. So it's again, to me, more exaggeration, trying to play the victim in a way. So it's like the right is adopting some of the SJW left tactics with regards to playing the victim and exaggerating the situation. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard. Now that can be taken two ways. Rappers on Xanax who are at the top of the billboard, or rappers talking about Xanax in their songs, and those songs are at the top of the billboard. Not a lot of clarification.
Bro, do you need to type faster? Yes, we just said that Janet's nipple was covered.
And I can't see because I'm only on one screen. I can't see what people are typing right now.
Yeah, it's okay. I got it. All
right. But if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. Well, yes, because in this day and age, because you're white, if you mention race, and this is going to come up later, guilt by association, you'll be accused of white privilege, you'll be accused of racism, you will be thrown under the bus simply for mentioning race. Some people will do that. Not everyone. Some people will jump on you for it. I don't know that I'm scared I'll get killed for it should figure into it. That to me is more exaggeration and hype.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get killed. I think the problem, well, maybe he would, because he's out there more, right? Like, that's maybe more of a legitimate fear, because he's like getting his name out there, so it might be But that's why it's a little different than for. I'm just trying to play the other side, so that's why we keep going to this. That would be my thing.
Yeah, he's got more publicity and exposure,
Yes,
so yes, more people will.
Yeah.
As opposed to you and I.
I mean, we think about like famous people that have been killed by fans and whatnot over like unbelievable stuff. So you never know, right? So
yeah, there are lots of, and I'm no doctor, but I assume that there are lots of mentally unstable people out there in this day and age, and they will take stuff like this overly seriously.
Yep.
Yeah. It's backwards. It's getting exponentially dumb. And now this is in reference to what he was saying in the previous 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
And he's building up to the chorus, which we'll get to. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Well, in 2021, when this song was released, and I think it was late January, yes, but in 10 years, if people are going to look at that line, you have to understand the context of the time, because a lot of stuff has been shut down. So there are not a lot of jobs out there. And in America, and he's Canadian, and I think he's talking to an American audience, which they could relate. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Well, in the United States, even though gun laws in some places have gotten more strict, yes, it's easier to purchase a gun than to get a job. In some places, like, that's got to be broken down. But I understand what he's getting at, and that's a decent example for his argument that he's building up with. You wanted to add on to that?
No, keep going. No, there was nothing for me to say there, so I agree with you on that.
All right.
So I will say, sorry, these next 2 lines, I will give complete credit to Brody. He said this back when this happened with Eminem, what you're about to read. Brody mentioned this, good Lord, 2 years ago, even more during the old show.
Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom. Now, for context, in 99, 2000, 2001, when Eminem was big, like much bigger than he is now, and he was putting out these lyrics, which he knew would get him famous. I don't know about that, but they were controversial at the time, even though it's under the guise of entertainment. Now, I'm not sure that killing your mom is considered entertainment, but he's saying it to be edgy. And now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. Now, those, to me, are 2 different kinds of controversial. Eminem controversial in the year 2000 versus Trump controversial in 2008, 17 to 21. Those are 2 different things. And to me, if Eminem is distancing himself from Trump, that says more about Trump's controversy as opposed to Eminem. They're 2 different things, in my opinion.
And as I sit here thinking about it, we've had this discussion. This has been, but this is human nature. This is being human. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Because before Eminem did go on this whole thing about Trump and whatnot, if you listen to the song "Headlights" by Eminem, he actually says, like, "I'm sorry, Mom. I hate when I hear, cleaning out my closet and stuff like that." So, this was before the Trump thing. So, no.
We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it. Who is we? Who are you? You don't have to. He's Canadian, though, you said. We're ashamed to be American.
He could be living there now, right? So,
okay. Yeah. We're ashamed to be American. No one says you have to be. No one says you need to be. You should probably love being American, or you should probably love being ashamed to be American. Again, I'm nitpicking. So this isn't a real argument that I have against his overall context. You have the right to say it and not get strung up in public. Yes, First Amendment. However, other people can use their First Amendment to critique your First Amendment and blah, 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 and it goes on. Not get strung up in public. In the court of public opinion, you've already been strung up in the first 2 sentences.
Yeah. Yeah.
As children, we were taught how to walk and talk. Now, is this where we come in? Is this where someone else comes in and says, "Oh, you were privileged. You were taught by parents how to..." No, that's stupid.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You got to remember in the way people are these days as well. you think people would say that? They might. Because I just watched a video about a guy who said that he's a white guy. He's about 25 to maybe 30 years old, saying how he's a racist because his skin is white. That was it. That was the crux of the conversation. So don't be shocked if somebody would say, "Oh, so you think you're special because you were taught to walk and didn't have to learn yourself?"
Yeah, he'll be accused of ableism because he was taught how to walk and talk.
Yeah. So you never know these days, dude.
I know.
Oh.
But the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. What is the system? And prove that the system wants adults to let's assume that the system is the government. Show me these billboards and signs and advertisements where the government says, adults, sit down, shut up. I don't see that happening. That to me is more exaggeration. Again, I'm nitpicking.
So, but you got to remember too, this guy's 32 years old. The sit down and shut up is more, it's the way the world communicates now. Now, you also got to take it out of the realm of us. I mean, we're not a lot older than him, 40 and 39.
Mm-hmm.
But in our day, if you were like, they didn't want to hear, you were told to sit down and shut up. These days, when they say sit down and shut up, they're talking about like stay off your fucking keyboard. But that's what it seems like to me. Like, that's that to me is what he's because it's a different culture now, right? Like if this was Eminem rapping this back in 1999, it'd be completely different, right? Like the content, like if you were saying that, like sit down and shut up would be like physically sit down and shut up. That's what I believe.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on at the time. Like what is in Eminem's time, what was the overarching topics versus what's the overarching elephant in the room topic right now.
Okay. So here's actually good one. I just thought of this. How about Mosh? The one that talks about the war when like sending Bush to war instead. Like he when Eminem's rapping, he's saying how they want you to, to go to war for the cause, but Bush wouldn't go to war. And so, I mean, the context was different at the time, right? So I guess that's kind of an example how it's, it's changed. So
yeah, context and especially time period matters.
Exactly. Okay, carry on.
Cancel culture runs the world now. I disagree that it runs the world now, but it is talked about a lot more in this day and age than it was even 5 years ago. It does not run the world because no one person or group runs the world. It's too big a job. The planet went crazy. Define the planet. The planet, the ecosystem, the atmosphere, the land. Is that what you mean by planet? Or do you mean the people who live on the planet? Because there are many people out there who would agree with Tom's lyrics, with his overall message in the song. So no, the planet has not gone crazy, and cancel culture does not run the world. That is an exaggeration, and I call you out for that, Tom McDonald. Who the hell am I?
Well, but okay, so here now, now as I sit and think about it, the problem is, I think this is the problem with a lot of first world countries is we think we are the world.
And we're not.
I honestly think that's what it is. That's why I chose my words carefully. Canada, US, we think because regardless of what this song says or anybody's song says we are fucking free. Anybody that would like to argue that, please go move to fucking North Korea or Russia.
That's a bit of an extreme.
Well, no, what
example.
I'm saying, dude. Okay, I won't even say that. Say like a Finland. Well, I guess Finland's pretty free.
China.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, but there's the thing. There's a lot more shittier places in the world you could be right now, and not have half of what you have. Meow. So that's all I've been saying that for years too. Like, and I'm stealing that right from Rogan. This is a great time to be alive. like it's a great time to be alive.
In terms of technology and information, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Label everything we say as homophobic and racist. Now, label everything we say, that's with regards to cancel culture, labeling everything we say. Not everything. Well, Not everything. It depends on what group, what little branch within the SJW left you're talking about. Some of those little branches and groups, yes, they will attack you on every single thing you say. Others will not. Others will pick and choose their battles. So a little bit of an exaggeration, but not to the extent where I would call them out for it as homophobic or racist. It again, people, for some reason, there are people out there who want to battle everyone on everything and put everything into a certain context so they can argue with people. And I don't understand why. Why would you want to have enemies? Why would you want to further divide people? We're pretty well divided as it is when it comes to certain topics. And it's so easy to divide us. It's race, homophobia, like it's too easy at this point in time.
And I don't know if you can see this, Alex, but Chad said someone from another country once told an American, "You guys think you're Luke Skywalker, but you're really the Empire."
Yep, that was in a video. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Whoopi Goldberg take some shit over? She said something about like the terror, like, you know, we call them the terrorists, but for what happened over in the Middle East, like they think that the Americans are the terrorists.
Absolutely.
And yeah. I think Whoopi Goldberg said that and got a lot of shit for it. But she's not wrong. They probably think that about, you know, like much like a lot of those people. I mean, I know we're going off on a tangent a little way here, but those people in the towers that died, and you know, conspiracy theory, not just saying the Americans that died that day, they think those are terrorists. Well, the same people that are living their lives over in Afghanistan and all that stuff, and they got bombed and killed, well, they think the same thing about the Americans and the Allies. Really, we don't need to say the Americans, we'll say the Allied forces.
Yeah.
This is a long fucking song.
Yes, but then again, we're going through every sentence, and again, for everyone in the chat, I'm not putting the comments up because I don't have two screens. I can't look back and forth, unfortunately.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. So this is where I was saying earlier about guilty by association. We'd bring it up. Yep. If you're white, some groups will, because your skin color is Caucasian, they will bring you up into guilt by association. They'll assume this and that and the other thing about you because of the color of your skin. Then you're privileged. Well, privileged in it's got to be in a certain context. Again, if you take the entire world, we are living way better than a whole lot of people. And like you said, first world problems. We don't really have much we can complain about in the grand scheme of things. Like I've got electricity and lights. I've got food in a cold box known as a fridge ready to go whenever I want. I don't have to travel miles and miles for water. I've got sanitation and sewage at my disposal. I'm living the dream at this point. And I'm going to complain because I'm cold for the moment or something in the fridge spoiled? Come on. Bigger picture.
Yeah.
What he said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. I will take issue with that right now. When I was 7 years old, I loved the animated series The Transformers, and to my knowledge, neither Optimus Prime nor the voice actor who voiced Optimus Prime got Me Too'd or was accused of being a rapist. So you're wrong.
Yeah, no. I mean, let's face it. The only one I can think of that right off the top of my head is Bill Cosby.
So who won between? We know this already. Between Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby, in the end, Eddie Murphy won.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy. Yeah. You can't say fuck on your show. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot say fuck
in front of people.
You can't say filth, floor, filth, floor, filth.
I never said no filth, floor, and filth, and fit it at your call. Fuck you.
I'm offended you fucking called fuck yeah. That is what I'm talking about.
And we go into a loop of saying that over and over. That's so great. That's classic. What are they saying in the chat?
Wait. Yeah, Brody, nothing to just Chad's like Brody said he agreed. The first thing he thought of with that lyric was Bill Cosby. That's really the only one I can think of. Like a childhood hero, but he wasn't even my hero. He's just a guy on TV.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers, another guy on TV. I don't think he was accused.
Nah,
Weird
he wasn't
Al.
me, dude.
Weird Al had a 40
Yes.
plus year career, never
Yep.
accused of anything.
No.
Hero of mine since I heard his 1983 album. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like him and with a black background, and it was like Camp Hell or something like that was one of the songs. I swear it was from 83. Mom
Nature
had the
Trail to Hell.
Nature Trail to Hell.
That is,
thank you.
That's my favorite Weird Al song, and we went with saw him live. They started playing. I was like, yes, they're playing it, because it was all originals. He did like a little melody of some of the covers, but it was all originals. Oh, when they did that in Velvet Elvis, I was so fucking excited. Yeah, and he's so good live. Still, I was really looking at his lips, like, is he singing? And yeah, he was singing. Like because you could tell because he wasn't quite. Like he's a little off, right? They always are when they're live, right? So,
oh well, he's the real deal.
So Brody says, I don't think Tom believes the words he's doing. If it's so dumb, right wingers can be like, yeah, look at this guy, he speaks the truth.
Yeah, he could be speaking in an exaggerated way to a certain sect of his fan base. Sure, if he's going to play to them, then that's his right. But
I think you need to do that these days. That's the thing. It's gotta be.
He needs to do that, not us.
Sorry, he needs then. But that is a lot of entertainers now. It's and Ben Shapiro. I'm trying to think of left, or like Tucker Carlson. It's amplified, right?
Tucker is a troll. I kid you not.
You're. I enjoy watching it because he's such a conniving little bugger, and he'll sit there and look at it like, oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Right? It's entertaining to watch because you know what he's doing. And I'm sorry, I can't think of left. Well, the View, like those are more leaning left, but they're just talk shows, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I know someone. Oh, really? So you don't even know left people? So you just say a bunch of women sitting around, and then of course you go and say these guys like Ben Shapiro, and you're such an asshole. Like no,
Nick's promoting women. Come on, what's wrong with that?
I like when Whoopi gets all fucking uppity. I think it's awesome.
They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. I don't know who they is. They never freed the slaves. What was that war between the North and the South in the United States? I think it was called the Civil War to free the slaves. And Abraham Lincoln had something to do with it. I'm not American, so I didn't study their history. So maybe I don't know the truth when it comes to that. Anyway.
Yeah. There was a big war that separated them.
Yeah.
They gave us tiny screens. We think we're free because we can't see the cage.
Okay, I think what he's obviously referring to cell phones.
I'm in a cage.
We think we're free because we can't see the cage. The internet is not a cage because we heard about you on the internet. And there are lots of people out there on the internet who claim to have and speak the truth, or my truth, but they gave us tiny screens. Who's they? No one gave you anything. Cell phones cost money. Are you saying that the government, gave you a cell phone? Prove it. They gave us tiny screens. We think we're free because we can't see the cage. You can think whatever you want. Like, that's the beauty of living in the Western world. Not just the Western world, but I'm looking at it from a Western person context. We think we're free. We're a lot freer than, again, North Korea or authoritarian China or some parts of Russia, is we can't see the cage. We can change our mind in an instant. Our minds are much more malleable to change as opposed to our bodies. Our biological physical bodies take time to change. We can change our minds on ideas in an instant. So we are, in a sense, free. And the cage, I know what he's referring to, but I just can't think of it right now.
So, as I'm just reading ahead, because good Lord, we keep going and we're gonna be here for fucking 3 hours. Just reading the main, like the fake, like the chorus, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he's like, I don't even know how to put it. Like, it's like they so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings.
Ben Shapiro.
Well, yeah, well, that's true. Like your facts. I mean, I always like that. That is one of my favorite ones with Ben Shapiro when the girl's like, well, where does it say girls can't join the Boy Scouts? In the name, it's Boy Scouts. Like I always got a kick out of that because he's like, it's literally in the name of the thing, Boy Scouts.
She can join if she identifies as a boy.
Yeah, but yeah, if that's what, like I don't even think she needs to identify as a boy. I think it's just, if this was what she's interested in, and she's a tomboy, and that's what she wants to do, that she should be able to. And it's same with if a boy, wants to go into brown. Like I don't think it should matter. Like let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
But it's only like he's, it's tribalism. That's what I always go back to with this fake woke. It's like people don't even understand. Like the way you're dissecting it now is perfect. Well, it is because people will just see, yeah, they never freed the slaves. We're still in there. We're still slaves.
Slavery in prior to the Civil War is way worse than life now.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But I would, and again, maybe we're speaking out of context. We're a couple of white boys, but I think it's way better in Meow than it was.
Racism still happens, that's for sure.
Oh, most definitely.
We're not saying,
and I'm not trying to play the victim either. And I say, but like, everybody gets it right. Fat people, you don't look right. Short people, yeah, it's just see that I mean, that's what I think. Like it is. He's just pointing out like just how easy how you become. Like, why are you offended by this? Like, it'd be interesting to pull someone aside and be like, okay, so, and I've tried to watch some videos. What's the gentleman that always sits at the table says, "Prove me wrong"? What's his name again? Have you? But I've watched some of his, and I know they're leaning to his thing, but he's trying to talk to people, and they're like, "Well, you can't stand here." He's like, "Well, why can't I stand here? It's a free." Well, he's like, "I'm just asking questions." And it's like that's what I like to see people just debate these things and like why do you feel this way about these situations? There's some of this I don't agree with. There's some I do. Like again, I'll go like right back to the beginning, with the Cardi B thing. I mean, this is what younger, but this also goes back on the parents too to be watching the music their kids are listening to, especially 12 years old.
Yeah. Right.
That comes back to the parents again. And again, it's hard as parents these days to like, when you were a kid, you'd had to hide like a cassette. For me and Alex, you'd have to hide like a cassette tape or the CD or something, right? Nowadays, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can find this stuff everywhere.
Yeah. I think because in the interest of time, instead of going through the rest of it, I want to focus on the term fake woke. And I think this refers to some people online who virtue signal and who type in all caps about the injustice of this and the inequity of that. And then they move on to the next thing the next day and something else the next day. They're constantly looking for something to be angry about. Or they're looking for enemies, or they're looking to signal boost their own virtue. Again, virtue signaling. I can't prove this, but I'm guessing, I'm assuming that some people are like that, but there are a lot of people out there who genuinely care about topic A or topic B, but in this day and age, it's hard to stay on one topic with the 24-hour news cycle.
Yes, and I think a lot of people, they're so worried about being on the wrong side on whatever the event is going to be. Do you know what I mean? Like they're so worried about being wrong. And
Are you talking about being judged by people in the future?
well, no, I think no, it's judged by people now.
Hmm.
Like if you like, I had a friend tell me, she said like, if you put anything like that, you're against, you don't want a vaccine and stuff like that, you're just getting ripped apart on Facebook. I think that's what it is. People are so, and like you can't talk about that stuff. You can't, well, without being attacked online. And there are a lot of people who that is their life is online. I'm not saying this person's life is, it is absolutely not. Her life is not online. But there are a lot of people whose lives are online. This is society we've become now. It's funny with how bad everybody's carrying on about not being able to go outside and whatnot. How, and everything's so electronic now, especially younger kids. Like we were never home.
Pretty much.
We were always out like hockey and built like I shared a thing on Facebook today about like when you were a kid, your mom thought you were just out riding your bike for 8 hours. Like fuck no, we built a fort. We were in the woods, fucking 800 fucking yards and out into the woods building forts. And we used to go to Eagle Ridge and climb through the big garages. You'd get in the rafters and climb through them, and people would yell at you and shit. And like we got into all sorts of crap.
Yeah.
So it's such, and I'm guilty of it. I look at my phone all the time. I'm totally guilty of it. It's this way society is, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But with everybody now.
I think a lot of what humanity has been building towards since the advent of technology has been instant communication across the world, access to information instantly. All the information that we've had since the beginning of recorded time up till now, you can access on your phone in an instant. I mean, people years ago wanted this, and now we have it. And I can understand being on your phone and just learning stuff, going through Wikipedia and YouTube, going down the rabbit holes and learning and absorbing. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, you do have to balance that out with getting outside every once in a while. Like when I was 5 and 6 years old, yes, I'd be out all the time. As time went on and I was 11, 12, and 13, I would be on the computer more and more, but I still somewhat balance that out with going outside. I'm much more of a recluse now, but I do know psychologically and physiologically the importance of being outside, because if you're in here 24/7, you get a kind of cabin fever.
Oh, most definitely. And I've tried to explain to Cohen, my son, that, I mean, fuck, 3 people are listening. I'm sure they know who my son is, but I tried to explain like this summer is like your last summer to be a kid, really. Like he's just going into grade 12. So barring going to trade school, which I hope he does do, this is it. And I said, do you want your memories to be like sitting in the house playing video games all summer? That's what my memories are going, like, and I'll say up till 20, okay, because that's 20 and under. My memories are going to Morphe Lake. My memories are partying out at 22 Mile. Just driving around Mackenzie. Like I said, I can listen to 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm in Mackenzie. I'm cruising, with you in the little SS. We're driving, just cruising around. Where, with Kenny, like whenever every time that that was that was so much fun. I remember driving with Kenny Heisted, listening to "Ride with Me" by Nelly in his little shitty Ford Explorer.
Good old Kenny.
And I was 20 then, I think. So I mean, yeah, I'm a few years older than my son, but yeah. Then our last party in Gataga. Oh my God, was that a blast? That was so much fun, and I just, these kids, I don't think they can put their phones down long enough to have fun.
And they should.
I don't think they could. I don't think, even now, like when we have a fire and stuff, the phone, I play music on my phone, but I'm not on Facebook. I'm enjoying the fire, talking, drinking, smoking. like, but when the kids are outside, that's all they did is stare at their phones.
Yeah.
It sucks, right?
Yeah. Again,
So,
there is a time and a place and an importance with regards to a phone. I myself, if I don't need the phone, and I'm talking not just when I'm in the office because I'm in front of a screen a lot of the time, I'll put the phone down. I'll even leave the office without the phone because I don't feel the need to have it with me all the time when I'm out walking with my girlfriend. If I don't think I need the phone, and I don't have a phone plan that has data, so there's no real need for me to take it anywhere. So I'll leave it at home a lot of the time. Yeah, it's only when I need it, not just to look at it to kill time. It's a tool. It has a purpose.
Mine's music. I have music on all the time. I mean, all the time. I love my Apple Music. I have music on. And then you reintroduced me to like converting MP3s or YouTube to MP3. Because there are some live songs that I wanted that I can't find. Like I think I know we said it on the show before that Miley Cyrus's cover of Sweet Jane by the Cowboy Junkies version or Cowboy Junkies song, not the what's his face it's another Sweet Jane song. But yeah, that song by her is just like
no, Chad, you can't take people's freedom away. No, I'm kidding.
How dare you? Who are you? And and just to go on that, when we went to go see Kings of Leon, I'm so glad I didn't have my phone on me or on, because Cohen's favorite song by Kings of Leon is Pyro. And they were kind of playing something, and I'm like, they're going to play it. Here it comes. And I was staring at his face. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. It makes me so happy because they started playing. He was like, oh, Dad, they're playing it. They're playing it. And just to see his face like light up when they started playing Pyro was fucking amazing. And I wasn't staring at a phone. I wasn't, I was in the moment. I don't know how people go to concerts and stuff and stare at their phone, or stare through the phone like this, like at Rogan. And I know Rogan hates cell phones, and I the amount of people who had phones up like this, I'm like, guys, we don't know when fucking Joe Rogan's coming back to Calgary. Why are you on your phone right now? I took a little picture. I went like this and kind of went just to take a picture. Like, I got Joe. There we go. And my phone went away the rest of the time.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that story about Cohen at Kings of Leon. And again, that's in your mind. That is for you. Only you have that visual. Now, looking back on it, because we know memories fade over time and become distorted. Looking back on it now, so you could relive that moment. Would you rather have had your phone just so you could look back at it? No? Okay.
No, because it won't bring this, because I was staring at him, not at a screen. I was watching him. Yeah. And to watch his eyes, so
you could have captured that on your phone forever and gone back to it whenever you want it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then when I break my phone and I lose the video, then it's gone, no matter what. Backups. Fuck, I don't back up shit. But that also can be said, I'm glad I got to live in that moment, but I'm so glad I got to, I recorded some Guns N' Roses when we were there. And I recorded the beginning of Welcome to the Jungle. And again, it was cool, but it sounds like shit on the phone, right? The memory of hearing it, because it's all the sensories, right? The hearing of it. And I'm just closing my eyes and thinking about it and seeing it. And look, I'm there. I'm in Seattle right now. I could see it when he started playing it, But it's all the sounds that were around that concert. Like me and Brody watching. I remember me and him looking over and seeing all the people. I think Alice in Chains was on by then. And the amount of people that were still coming in was wild. Because I'm that guy. I don't know how you are, Alex. If I'm going to a show, I want to watch all of it.
Yeah, me too.
I paid the money. I want to see the opening act. Well, we had two of them. So Duff's Daughter's band was the first one. And then it was Alice in Chains and then GNR. I like seeing everything. I paid the money. I want to see it. We were there early. Oh, it sucked so bad because we were sitting there. The sun came right through the part of the stadium, right where me and Brody were sitting.
Did you have your hat on backwards and you're like, oh, I got to do this now?
No, I didn't. No, we actually had to go to the concourse because it was like we couldn't sit there. But yeah, I think about all those. I like to take a little, like maybe I should, but that I don't know. With that moment with Cohen, I'm glad I just watched it happen. Like when me and Chad took the boys to go see Volbeat, I think I took a couple pictures when Michael was close, like lead singer of Volbeat, and the part with Voodoo. There's a part during Voodoo. They have these 4 big fire things going off. And we were 7 rows back, dude, and I could feel the heat off of them. So I could just imagine what the band was feeling down on the stage. Yeah, and guess what? And the cool thing was, me and Brody, the people beside us were fucking cool as shit. Right? So we got to talk and meet them. There was I don't know if Brody's still here or not, but the girl who had no underwear on walking up the stairs. We're like, holy shit, because the stairs are literally like this. And she didn't even think about it, and she had a mini skirt on. And then we're people watching, and then to watch the girl that she's like, I'm not fucking going up there, because their seats were way at the top. And like it's freakishly steep. Yeah, she's like, I'm not fucking going up there. So yeah, there's sometimes maybe I should have taken a picture. There's a lot of stuff from the road I remember that I didn't take a picture of, and it's still ingrained in my head. Like seeing the Superman ride. Remember seeing the Superman ride? Or the lake. What?
You mentioned the road. Do you have a story for us or something?
Are we doing that? Okay.
If you want to.
I have a story, dude. I have a story. I have lots of stories, but
is this going to be a long or a short?
It'll probably be a longer story.
All right. So for everyone who doesn't know,
I
created a story time by Nick, and I got a short and a long version, and I'm going to preface it by saying Nick had a lot of stories from when he was a trucker on the road. And at one point in time, I said to him, man, you should write a book or do something so you can tell these stories, because personal experience makes it more interesting from the person telling the story. And I don't know why I mixed this in, but for some reason, I immediately thought of cologne companies and perfume companies and just stupid clothing companies that tried to make either their products sexy or the people who buy their products make them feel sexy. I don't know why I mixed the two together, but I did. So I present to you all Storytime by Nick, the long version. Storytime by Nick.
Oh yeah. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Oh shit. Okay, so this was the I know I told you, because this was the story that I told you when I was on I gave you kind of the Reader's Digest version. And this was the story that you said, this is after I told this one, and it was only in an abbreviated version because it was over Messenger. I don't even know why the fuck we talked about it, but anyways, so I had to take a load giggity into Las Vegas, Nevada. Now to start, it's hilarious. So when you get down there, when you're by Arizona, the Interstate 15, I believe it is. Yeah, Interstate 15 runs through like the corner. And I mean, I brought it up on here, I'll show you guys. I forgot we have the technology. So this little chunk of Arizona. Oh, I guess if I click this, there should be no sound anyway. So, don't show us again. I got it. Good Lord. So where was that again? I messed up here. Yes. So this little this piece right here, this little chunk of interstate. Okay. When you cross here, there is a port of entry here and here. To drive this little section of highway, I don't even remember how many miles it was. I believe it was $70 one way to drive this little hunk of road to get a permit. and we needed that permit to get into Viva Las Vegas, right? So we buy that permit, and I remember saying to the guy that my boss at the time, so my ex father-in-law, I don't have a permit for Nevada. And he's like, you'll be fine. There's no ports. I've been there. Okay. So he was right. I got into Vegas, unloaded. And I'm like, all right, what's the plan? He's like, I don't have a reload for you right now. So you're going to, go to the truck stop, spend the night, and, have some, all right. So we go to the truck stop. And so I've never been to Vegas. I'm not going down to the strip. I don't, So I'm like, I got to at least play one machine. I'll go have a shower and stuff. And so I'm kind of getting my stuff ready in the truck, and I look over, and there's this lady. She looks like she's a flapper girl. Like, she's dressed in a black dress. And I'm like, oh, she looks, kind of nice. She was just having a smoke. Well, I grab my bag and I go to walk in there, and this lady is talking to the pigeons. And I mean, full conversation. Like, we're talking right now. I swear to cow, full conversation. So I was like, wow. So I go in and I'm like, just so you guys know, I go to the clerk and I pay for I get my ticket for my shot. I'm like, hey, there's a lady out there talking to a pigeon right now. And the guy goes, are you kidding? I'm like, no, she's in a black dress. He's like, she was just arrested 4 hours ago. She just stabbed somebody in the parking lot 4 hours ago. What? Like, because when I got up to her, you could tell she was, right? So I'm a shower, go out to my truck, and I'm about, and this guy was having some truck issues, and I was parked beside him. So I throw in, I come over. I'm like, hey, man, you need a hand? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, well, don't lean on the tire. I'm like, why? He's like, look, somebody had thrown a bag of shit out into the parking lot, and he rolled over it of human shit. And it says now on his tire, right? Mm-hmm. Like, ew. So I can't remember the gentleman's name, but so we neither one of us had a load for tomorrow. So he's like, well, you want to drink some beer? I'm like, well, yeah. Does a hobby horse have a wooden dick? Right? Like, we're gonna drink some beers. So I think that's when the first time I had Keystone, and of course in America, light beer, like a 3% or whatever the fuck it is. I'm pounding these things back, right? And we met a couple other guys, and they were drinking with us, and there's one guy's like, how are you drinking like this? And the guy goes, he's a Canadian. Don't ever try to drink beer with a Canadian. It's never going to work, right? So the lot lizards start coming around. Okay. And there's four, and we were sitting on my I had a step deck. So the trailer has a step in it. So we're all just sitting on the step bullshitting. And the other guy was sitting on them. She comes over and says, hey, you guys looking for fun? And she looks at me first. I'm like, lady, for what you're going to charge me, I can go get a porno video. I can go get a magazine right now and get a video. I'm good. Thanks. And the guy goes, well, how much? And she's like, what was it? $40 for a blowjob and $80 for both. And he looks at his partner. They're sharing a truck. Like they're partner drivers. He goes, dude, give me $40. So he had $80. So, all right, have fun. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I don't even think he was gone for 5 minutes. And he comes back out and she wanders off and we're all staring at him. Right. And he's like, what? And his buddy goes, you spent $80 fucking and that you lasted 5 minutes? And the guy's like, well, it's been a while. He's like, I give you $80. You took $80? And holy shit. So I actually messed the story up because this is what led before this. This is what led to the stress. Okay. This is why I didn't load till the next day. Forgot this part. So my dispatcher says, you need to go to California. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't have a permit for any of these fucking places. Like, what are you doing to me? Well, we'll figure it out. Okay. And then I start thinking, I'm like, I've heard of this thing called a California spread, giggity. And I was hauling a 53-foot trailer. And it's been years, decade, 13 years. I knew there was a spread of the axle that I couldn't. So I call the DOT in California. I was just about in California, and I called, and I'm like, what's the spread? And God, where's Ryan King when you need him? He'd know all this shit now. And he tells me the spread, and I'm like, oh, thanks for telling me. I couldn't go to California. I didn't have the legal wheelbase to go into California. So I call Pete, and I'm like, hey, like, I can't go. I don't have a California blood. And he always says to me, can you chain your axle up? Can you suck my dick? Like, yeah, like you wanted me to chain like my I'm like, no. So this is where the story, this is where the stress and why I got liquored up that night. This is why I should have. So I'm coming back. When I went past, the port of entry was closed. Now I'm going back, and the port of entry's fucking open, and they're checking trucks.
Yep.
I don't have a thing to be in. I don't have the paperwork to be in Vegas or Nevada. I am sweating like R. Kelly at the Kid Choice Awards. I am like, oh, fuck. So I pull in, and I'm coming, and I think the only thing that saved my ass was my trailer was empty, and they just waved me through. They let me go.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't have went to jail, but it would have been a huge fine.
Yeah.
Huge fine. So we drink beer all night. We finished 2 flats there. And I mean, again, I'm fine. You know how I could drink beer. I'm fine. And so the truck I have has a portable air conditioner on it. It is 40 degrees at midnight, and the air conditioner dies. I am sweating like a Catholic priest at Sunday school. I'm just dying. And like, I was like, it was so gross. And I finally got the load to get out of there. And I had to pay another $70 to go back through Arizona empty because it couldn't find me a load. I had to go back all the way up into Idaho to go get Utah to get reloaded in this place called, it was a steel plant just outside of Salt Lake City. And yeah, finally got home. But yeah, that was my Las Vegas adventure. And I'm almost sure that was the story that started when you said to me that I needed to write a book. I just stories. And I got more stories. There'll be more times than Nick will tell stories, but and I was only on the road for I don't even think I made 3 years. Not even. And I got some fucking stories, I'll tell you. I got some stories.
The one quick quip that I remember was you went into a convenience store in, I want to say, Wyoming, and someone there said that you looked like Steve-O, and I couldn't figure out where the hell she got that information from.
Montana. It was Shelby. It was when you get across the border south of us. Shelby's Sweetgrass, and then Shelby has like a gas station, and I'd always stop there because Subway was really cheap there, right? And yeah, she said I looked like Steve-O. I've heard the dude from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio's character.
I've heard D'Onofrio's character. Yeah, I've heard a fat Stone Cold.
Yeah,
I've heard Will Sasso. But these are times when I didn't have a beard either, right? And I don't know where. I have no idea where that came. The Steve-O one still, like, I never got that. And I actually another quick story. We were in somewhere in Texas. I can't remember where in Texas. And I love truck stops are awesome in the States. I don't know if Brody's still here, but yeah, I love truck stops. Like, you always have cool shit. Anyways, I'm looking through the stuff, and I kind of look over, and this guy is standing beside me, and he looks like Buford T. Justice. The hat's on, everything. And he has on his hip a 45 It had to be a 45 Magnum. It was a fucking cannon. And it had the ivory handle and everything, and I'm just staring at it. And all he said to me was, very nice, eh? I'm like, yes, sir. Like, this second, right on his hip. This fucking hand cannon's on his fucking hip. I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, so. Yeah. But that is the end of story time. I got some more, but we could tell more Maybe the next one maybe had to be the tale when my fucking trucking ended. That'll be a long story. So
there was one thing I wanted to mention with regards to videos and cell phones. Frank from The Harsh Truth, when he and Cora and Jeremy were talking about Marvel movies, Frank was saying that part of the great thing about going to a theater is the shared experience you have with the audience. And there was a good 2 or 3, maybe even 4 hours I spent about 3 or 4 weeks ago just watching audience reactions from various parts in the Marvel films. And man, it's amazing because as a filmmaker, that's exactly what you want to see and hear in a theater. People just going absolutely crazy for characters and at certain points in time, because if you're a good filmmaker, you know how to build those up. And especially in Endgame, those were perfectly built up for audience participation. Oh man,
I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
I had tears in my eyes every time the audience started going crazy because, again, as a filmmaker, that's what you want.
That scene at the end, like there's a fun couple scenes, like when I'm gonna, and I know I don't care, Chad's gonna bitch at me, but when Captain America gets, okay, spoiler alert, guys, we're gonna talk about this shit. So it came out years ago. Shut the fuck up. When the hammer goes to him to Captain America. Mm-hmm. And they all cheered. Yeah, again, I'm just talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps. Or at the end where the voices started cracking in the helmet, like before the big fight scene.
Yeah,
and
when
all
Sam,
and everything starts opening up, and people see, like, look at, and I think like that's what movies and stuff are supposed to do to you.
Yes,
like that's, or when like did you watch one when like Spider-Man when he finds Stark and he starts talking to him, he's like, remember when I was standing and I was disappearing and I thought I was sick, and then the dog, and he just hugs him, and it's like, oh, right? Like, I said this, that young man that plays, I always forget, but he reminds me of Chad's oldest son, Tucker. Reminds
Tom
me
Holland.
So much of Tucker Reese. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention, you had mentioned Keystone Light. And I watch the Drunken Peasants all the time, and some of their content that they go to on the internet. There's one guy, he's from South Texas, almost on the border with Mexico. I can't remember what the town or the city is in. No, I don't think it's that, but it's somewhere around there. The guy's name on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure you can find him under this name, is Trumpster Bob.
Trumpster Bob.
I kid you not, that's his name. He's in his 60s. He's going bald. He's got long white hair. He almost looks like a drunken Santa Claus. The shit that comes out of this guy's mouth, it's amazing. Like, he seems to have his own facts, like not even alternative facts, his own facts when it comes to stuff. Like he thinks that a lot of people,
he's live right now.
Yeah. If you want to see just a brand of American crazy, Trumpster Bob, I mean, you will be entertained.
This, like, guys, so I mean, we're going here an hour 14. This guy has like a 4-hour fucking video.
Yeah.
5 hours and 54-minute video.
And he gets just plastered on Keystone Light quite often. And he lives in a mansion with other people. He lives in the projector room of a mansion. This guy he's a character. But he's real. He's an absolutely real guy.
Wow. Like,
Good Lord.
6-hour video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, holy shnikes. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, he's on there right now talking, 9 people watching. Wow. That's so, wow. A 6-hour video. Great googly moogly.
Yeah. The people out there who are just, they make you wonder, you know?
Actually, here's something I and it's there's this young man. I've watched a few of his videos, and he's a young. Okay, I gotta get the when I say this right when I get the thought out of my head. So I like watching reaction videos, especially when they're African American guys watching, like the guys. Well, they watch like Rush, like they watched YYZ, and this black guy he's watching it, going, damn, like he's like, holy shit. And they go, of course, YYZ, it's the Live from Rio one, which is amazing to watch. And he goes about almost all the, like, I think there's only 30, 40 seconds left in the song. He's like, they haven't even said a word yet. And I don't think they're going to. And like, because they've never heard these songs. But there's a couple, like there's a white guy here. I watched a few of them. And he's watching like Metallica and Pearl Jam. And it's like, your dad never showed you Pearl Jam? You know, like Metallica, like you're showing reactions to them, right?
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I quite enjoy watching reactions. There's a No Life Shack has some funny ones. And he actually made like a character where he puts on like a Van Halen wig when he watches the videos. It's like Rocker Shack or something he calls it. It's pretty entertaining. But yeah, I like watching reaction videos to people. I like watching them when they're not like a 35, when it's like a 6 or a 4-minute song and it's a 12-minute video. You're not going to hold on to me because you don't need to stop the song every minute. Like listen to the song and then give your thoughts or whatever, or just your facials while watching it. So
yeah.
Ow. Sorry, I have to readjust them in my legs. Was there anything else we need to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. I see this on Facebook more and more in the past 5 years now. And I'm not bringing anybody down, but
Don't bring me down, Bruce. Don't bring me down. Nope. Go have a shower then.
I want to listen to music.
Go listen to music.
I can't listen to music and have a shower. You're in a podcast.
You can listen to music. Go have a shower. Then everyone can listen to how shitty your music is.
How much longer then?
I don't know how much longer. Go have a shower. It's
20
fine.
minutes at the most.
6 hours. Go have a shower. Seriously, go have a shower. It's fine. Listen to music. You know, you don't have to have it at max the whole time.
Yeah, but it's more enjoyable that way.
I love you.
Love you today.
Yes. Auntie Sarah says hi, Co. Hi, Auntie Sarah.
This has been Parenting with Nick.
Well, the thing is, if he thinks that, like, you know, and I'm guilty for it too. I like singing in the shower and stuff, but you know, of course, it has to be at fucking max volume. And
So when you see a
Anyways.
post on Facebook where someone says, I want my country back, what in your mind is the definition of my country?
Are you the same asshole that says, it's Merry Christmas, motherfucker? Because those are my favorites, because I've never heard anyone give me shit. And I say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Me
And
too.
I have never had one person ever say to me, it's Happy Holidays. Never.
I put that out on Facebook one year at around Christmas time. Has anyone ever been told that you cannot say Merry Christmas? And no one, to my recollection, I probably have to look this up, no one ever said, yes, here in this town or in this city, you cannot say Merry Christmas. At no point in time did anyone ever say that. So this is more of that fake war on Christmas BS.
I like to know, again, how people, when they say my country, like what are your feet, like what, you're right. What are you losing about your country? Please enlighten me.
Yeah. So either their name is Canada, or they own the country, or there's some hidden criteria or set of attributes that this person has, which makes the country theirs. So obviously they were born in this country. Fine.
Okay.
What about,
do we need like a checklist? Like I was gonna say, it should be a Canadian checklist. Like, okay, so how much hockey memorabilia do you have in your basement?
I'm out.
Okay, so you're not Canadian. It's not your country. Do you have any? And I'm just because I'm tragically hip memorabilia. I do. Yep. Sweet. I'm in. Do you have Molson Canadian? I don't. Oh, I'm out. I guess. Shit. Not even Molson Canadian. And do you like CFL more than NFL? No, I like NFL more. Well, you're out. Get out of my country.
I'm out.
Damn. Man, you're really not Canadian, are you?
I don't play hockey on a regular basis. I don't speak French.
Sacre bleu. See, I do.
I don't chug maple syrup.
Ew.
I don't have a collection of maple leaves. I'm not out there saying, speak English or French or get out of my country.
say it in or fuck off.
Yeah, you gotta speak English like I do. See how I'm pronunciating all them words and the enunciation on everything I'm saying. If you don't speak English like I do, you don't deserve to be in my country.
I game with I got a buddy in Ireland and I got a friend in Ontario, and the guy from Ireland meant some maple syrup, and the guy from Ontario is like, why do people think that? Like, maple syrup is fucking disgusting. Like, if you to drink it straight, like, it's fucking gross. Do you tolerate Nick? That's great. Do you tolerate Nickelback? You might be Canadian.
There are a lot of people here in Vancouver who do not tolerate Nickelback, even 10, 15 years ago. And Nickelback are from Abbotsford?
Well, half of them, yeah. Chad Kroger and his brother from Hannah, just north of us. And I don't understand the hate. I really don't get the unadulterated hate for Nickelback.
No.
If they're not your music, you can say that. Don't fucking do not tell me, well, it all sounds the same. Well, they got a band called AC/DC who has 15 albums that all sound the fucking same.
Now,
Like,
to be fair, Chad is not talking about Nickelback being uncultured. He's talking about people who don't like Nickelback, I think.
yeah, I don't understand. They've sold millions of albums worldwide. You can't like, fuck, you like, they sound the same. Yeah, most bands have a style. That's what they fucking sound like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, I don't get that.
And the reason that I bring up this my country stuff is this. I'm a Canadian. I will not just sit down. I will not shut up. The government is not telling you to sit down and shut up. I will not comply. I want my country back. I will not comply with what? And that's a picture of a soldier. I want my country back. Again, what do you mean my country? Now, if we're talking about political parties, there is no one political party that runs the country, and there is no one political party that defines you nationally if you are with or against that political party. And I see this on Facebook as well. Some of my friends will be saying, well, you're a libtard. Just because someone votes liberal, that does not define their intelligence quotient. Just because someone is conservative, that does not make them a racist or a redneck. I mean, these blanket statements about defining people or making fun of people based on how they vote or what it's stupid. I don't understand. It's further division. Why are we further dividing each other in this manner? I want my country back. What do you mean your country? I live here too. Years ago, and I'm saying around 2007 or so, I was on a public transit bus, didn't have my own vehicle at that point. It happens. And it was not in downtown Vancouver, but it was in the city of Vancouver, and someone was speaking another language, and there was a skinny white guy not too far away from me. We were standing up on the bus because all the seats were taken. Fine. And he said something to the effect of speak English or go back to your country. As long as they can speak English or French, they have to speak one of the two main languages of the country. I'm pretty sure that's in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You have to speak one or the other, at least one or the other. As long as they can do that, it doesn't matter what language they speak. And what do you mean get out of your country? It's my country too, and I say they can stay. So what now? I'm older than you. So how are we defining your country? Is your name Canada? Do you own the place? Like, why do people have this mindset? I don't understand nationalism in this day and age.
I always think of it as, yeah, I mean, and I know not all countries but I always think like the war-torn countries, excuse me. And, people like, I live a very, very good life, and I wish other people could live the great life that I live. I have a beautiful wife. I have a tolerable son.
This is parenting with Nick.
I got great friends. I got a great job. I get to, the freedom to to do a show with one of my lifelong friends. I mean, life's great,
Mhm.
you know. So I wish other people could experience what we get to experience. You know, I wish, you know, gets to sound fucking kind of stupid, but I wish people could experience the right to be able to say to somebody, "Hey, fit in my country or fuck off." You know, like they could actually get to that. You know what? You know, and I know it's asinine to say it that way, right? But I wish people could feel that. Speaking of my beautiful wife, hey baby, what's up?
Are you done?
No.
Oh.
Why?
We'll be done soon. It's okay.
God, I see everybody's up my ass, right? Maybe we need to move the show an hour earlier. Good Lord.
It's fucking 9:30.
We're talking. I love you.
Please don't.
Oh shit. It
No,
didn't
you
work that
don't.
It didn't work that time.
You got that
So-
prenup in order?
Prenup. I didn't have anything when she fucked. She's the sucker. Fuck. Well, you know, as you're right, you do. So as we're winding it down, you know, there's a lot of important questions these days, guys. And I think this run right now is the most important question we need answered. Honey, come here. You can answer this question too with the people. With the people. Okay?
People.
What?
Where does that tie belong in that bronchiosaurus?
Down below.
I agree.
Number 2.
Number 2. Folks in the chat, what do you think? Where does that tie belong? I say number 2. Alex? Oh, Sarah says hi because you're on camera now.
Hi.
So I say number 2. Alex?
Yeah, I'll go with number 2.
Brody, Sarah, everyone else? I can't see the chat right now. Yeah, see 2. Bottom. Yeah, see bottom. Yeah, see, okay, I think people agree. You know. So,
Bye, Kim.
fuck him. Yeah, bow tie. I'll agree with that, Sarah. If he's going bow tie up top. Definitely.
Then he
But
becomes
next-
Tucker Carlson.
And then he becomes a racist asshole on Fox.
Troll. He becomes a
Troll.
troll.
Well, that's like, you know, it's a, you know, a giraffe, you know, is a deer just a giraffe with a short neck? Question. Jesus Christ. But yes, all right. Consensus seems to be number 2. Did anybody say 1? Yeah, definitely number 2. And this has been Fashion with Kim. Oh, it's fucking awesome. So this has been Fashion with Kim.
See, I don't know if anyone has said this or speculated on this, but we got no hard feelings with the artist formerly known as. This is life now. That's all.
Yeah, that's
I'm
all.
just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. So yeah, once we know when his show will be going, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah,
So-
he'll be talking everything sports and running his mouth and being the B-bones B-ball that he is, whatever
Yes.
that means. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm picking my teeth on the air because I got fucking something in my tooth.
Speaking
love
of
ya.
teeth,
Wow.
I started Invisalign last week. It's basically
Yeah.
plastic covers for your teeth, and I had braces in grade 7, and my teeth got straightened out at that point. Now I don't know what the hell happened. I think it was my bottom teeth at the front. They've gone back and forth. I think it was the year 2001. We were in the theater. I don't know if we were all drunk. I think I was drunk. We were watching a movie, and
We're
I was
probably
sitting beside April, and I went to get up and go somewhere, and I was pretty cut at that point, and I guess she didn't move her feet back, or I didn't even bother trying to go around, and I fell over her legs, and I landed on my chin on the floor,
I remember that.
and like I said, the body reacts a lot slower than the mind does. So I think over time they just kind of went back and forth. Maybe it's like slow term trauma. So finally I'm getting this fixed. It's going to take a year. That's fine with me. It's like incremental fixing.
Yeah.
Going to be interesting to see how it goes. I don't know what the price tag is exactly. My dentist and she's really cool. She was saying it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $6,000. So it is what it is. I'll let y'all know how it goes. At this point, it's fine. Like I can take these out for a maximum of 2 hours when I eat and just leave them in the rest of the time. it's much better, I think, than having braces. It's a lot easier. They took a mold of the teeth. They created the caps that way. It's great. Like, if this is the wave of the future, I'm all for it.
Well, yeah, they had talked to me about because I have a really bad overbite. Overbite? Yeah, overbite. And not overly bad, but my teeth don't line up. I mean, fuck, I've been punched so many times in the face and hockey sticks. And so they were talking, oh, he's like, oh, we can fix that for him. Like, oh, sweet. Like, you know, how we fix that? He's like, well, we'll have to cut your top palate. Yeah, I'm done. That's the end of this conversation right now. You are not cutting my fucking, not happening. And you want to know what, Brody? I actually have to too. So right before the pandemic hit, go ahead. Sorry, Alex. Right before the pandemic hit, I broke my mouth guard. And of course, then they closed dentists. And that was the thing. I just went to the dentist yesterday. And usually it's not too bad because I would go every 6 months. Well, it's been over a year. Oh, my teeth were so sore because it's usually not a bad cleaning because I brush my teeth daily, twice a day, and I floss all the time.
Good.
Flosser's right here, right? Because I have to. And so usually my cleaning's really good. But fuck me, that hurt yesterday. Really hurt. So I actually go get fitted for a thingy too. So
I've got a night guard. I've had it for good Lord, 12 or 13 years now because like Brody, apparently I clench my teeth when I'm sleeping as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. You know, maybe we do need to drop this back an hour. Maybe go a little hour earlier because I like going long, but 6 a.m. comes early. Maybe we do need to talk about that. So
yeah, that's not a bad idea. As long as the artist formerly known as Jabroni Jabberbrony, I know he's already said Wednesdays at 7 Pacific. As long as he doesn't jump on our, no, it's fine.
Don't jump on my dick, motherfucker. We'll simulcast. So, all right. So what do we got? Wrap this shit up. Can you hear Colin singing?
This is. No, I don't, but I'll take your word for it.
Singing Bruno Mars. He's such an eclectic kid. He'll listen to like Bruno Mars, and then he'll go to like pit bulls in the nursery and shit. Like it's just he's so eclectic in his music. So, anyways, wrap this shit up.
Yeah, exactly, Brody. How are we supposed to know? It's they look at the bottoms of your teeth, meaning right there, and if you clench your teeth, then it's all ground down at this point.
That's what they could tell on me. Like my teeth are ground bad.
Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it. And I want to thank Brody and Chad and my co-host, one of my co-hosts from the You Missed It podcast, Jack, for liking the stream before it went live. Really appreciate it. He's going to go at 11 Eastern on Wednesday. Nice. Trevor, you should tune into that because you're a sports guy.
Yeah, you're a sports guy. You should definitely check that out. Yeah.
And you're in Alberta, so I'm pretty sure Brody's your friend now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging out for an hour and a lot. So,
yeah. So I like to leave it with memes, and I'm going to leave it with a meme. So thank you all for listening. Everyone who is here, Chad, Trevor, Sarah, the artist formerly known as, I can't remember who else we had, but thank you for watching. We will be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Redneck Alberta time. And speaking of rednecks, we leave you with this. If it'll show. There it is. Thank you very much.